Viking warriors, if you fight against the Irish and we come on the shore on our floating death traps, but you kill everybody and you get killed, then the Valkyries, which are virgin, will come with you to Valhalla where you have much beer and sex. That was the promise which Thorgest and Ragnarsson used to conquer Ireland. Since then the Irish have closer ties in history between violence and religion. Doesn't matter if it's Bloody Eagle or Bloody Sunday. But of course, since the Sinn Féin closed the IRA and their army parts there, the loyalists and freedom fighters become cultural open to other ideas, like marching with the BDS and shouting Nisubi al-Yahud, which means also slaughtering the Jews. And it's only an expression of cultural common values, like the Protestants with Luther, the Jews should possess nothing, and what they possess should be ours, or the article of the Hamas Catholic kill all the Jews all over the world, which is nothing else but the Sahih Muslim book 4106 of 985, that the paradise comes after the last Jew is beheaded behind a talking stone. Little hiccup that the Christians now go more in direction 10 commandments, and that in the Surah 17 verse 104 is written that the Jews will return to Israel by the order of Allah, which is finally something evil in the Quran. Now today, a brave soldier with his AK-47 and his baby goes to the Death Rage, sees a tear gas cloud and throws his baby into it. That was called bad parenting. But our much more open and tolerant society understands now this is a cultural Palestinian sport called dwarf tennis, and only a reaction to the opening of the embassy by this horrible Trump, who is so horrible to horrible dictators that the horrible dictators become retroactive horrible, because before then Kim Jong-il even didn't poop. Besides, why it is called an embassy at Jerusalem? Everybody knows Jerusalem was by this oppressor King David a settlement in Al-Aqsa, and there had never been a purge or cleansing of the temple. There was only a Mrs. Mob called Jesus in the mosque. And this is confirmed by the UN Resolution 2334. So of course, if people now hear this, they must go on the opening days of the Ramadan Bombaton 2018, which is called Days of Rage, because there had been only 20 weekends of rage in 2017. So, and in Sunan Abu Dawud, Book 2, Hadith 704, it is clearly written that the presence of pigs, women, dogs, donkeys, and Jews nullify every prayer. So it is totally Islamophobe towards the Islamans, Muslims, Islams. However, now Germany and England are investigating this murderous self-defense of Israel, because contrary to Indonesia, where insulting Islam gives you only 4 years of prison, now in the United Kingdom you get 6 years of prison. And the Germans now understand the problem was not the World War or the master race. It was, after reading Surah 3 verse 111, the Muslims are the best of nations, and Surah 8 verse 55, everybody else is the worst of creatures. That the problem was not German, the master race, it was who was the master race. Also, the Pope understood after reading Surah 98 verse 6, the Christians and Jews are the worst of creatures, that this read must be a holy book, as he declared. So now the alternative fascists called Antifa or something like that understood the problem was who is the master race. And after the biological so very important, now there's a new plan for Europe, because as the old Nazis died out, we have to import now new anti-Semites in the millions, but this time the real master race, which after a certain time in the Bundestag they speak about 2050, will replace everything with the only multicultural culture of cultures. Somehow this is not monocultural. I don't understand really, but however, in 2050 they can follow all Surah 9 verse 73 that all the heretics have to be, or Sahih Bukhari Hadith 6922, all Muslims that don't fall out of line will, and they don't have to do it in machetes like in Duisburg. So that's the plan, and then Europe will be like it was the centuries before. I suppose by now everybody has tagged me as the Hitlerjode Nazi dog. And I will now make a video, Sarcasm for Dummies.